And howdy folks, it's Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here. We're taking a look at your tropical update for July 16th of 2020, looking all the way out through about July 23rd, and actually just a little longer than that. Body by the good folks over there at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling. They do roofs too. Easy for me to say. Let's take a look at the 2020 hurricane season thus far. We've got all the way out to Faye. Next up on the list is going to be Gonzalo, Hannah, Isaias. See, I can say that, but I can't say roofs. Isaias, Josephine, Kyle, Laura, Marco, and Nana down the line. The Colorado State folks came out just a couple weeks ago and suggested that 20 named storms was going to be the number that they were looking for this year in total. We've already made it through 6, so we got number 7 up next. Where are things usually forming? Well, this time of the year, we're actually looking a little further out now. Now that we're into July, looking out into the Caribbean, instead of just kind of close to home and into the Gulf of Mexico and just off the east coast of Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, we're actually looking all the way out to the Greater and Lesser Antilles. And the truth be told, as we march our way through July, I mean, here we are in the middle of July, we start to look out even further than that, and we start to get into kind of some bullseye areas, and you can kind of see where the arrows are pointing. That's the general direction that a lot of these waves off of Africa tend to go. One thing to keep in mind as we head through the next couple of days, where are the waves? Well, right now there aren't any. In fact, the only area of concern from the National Hurricane Center is into the Pacific. And that's going to be moving away from land. It's not going to be bothering anybody. But into the Atlantic, there's really not much doing. Matter of fact, you can probably make the argument that, okay, sure, we've got this little wave here, a couple little clusters of thunderstorms near Jamaica, and then we've got this big blow-up of stuff that's happening down in Louisiana. But outside of that, there's really not much doing right now. That's not going to be the case as we head through the next necessarily about week, roughly. We've got one little area that's going to try and sneak into the Gulf of Mexico as we head through this weekend. It's going to be very loosely organized, mainly just as showers and thunderstorms here and there into the Gulf. So if you've got plans to do any fishing or something out into the Gulf of Mexico, watch out for showers and thunderstorms out there. Then as we look a little further out, we've got a couple little areas worth noting in between all of the very dry air that's out here. And we'll be watching those as we head through the next about week. Number 1 shows up just about Cuba on Monday. That's going to get into the Gulf of Mexico as we head through kind of the middle to end of next week. There's one kind of back in behind that, and then another one back here. Okay, so we'll clear that out before we go. So the first one gets into the Gulf of Mexico and is kind of plopped just off to our south as we head through kind of Wednesday and Thursday of next week, according to the European here. And very loosely organized, mainly just a cluster of showers and thunderstorms associated with a little wave. We're not talking about anything in terms of imminent development. In fact, none of the models develop it into anything. They just kind of keep it as a little wave that kind of cruises on by. But that's just kind of the first of a couple. So here comes the next one. Now it's it's trying to get its act together out toward Cuba and the Bahamas. And that one makes it toward kind of the southern tip of Florida and tries to get into the Gulf of Mexico as we head through the last weekend in July. This one, at least on the models right now, appears to be a little better organized than the first one. And then we've got another one back here, which is just off the Greater and Lesser Antilles that we'll have to watch back in behind that. Now, again, I want to point out that most of the forecast agencies that try and accurately predict the season on a whole is suggesting an above-average season in terms of named storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes. This doesn't guarantee that there's one for us here in South Mississippi, or even guarantee that there's one into the Gulf of Mexico. But what they are looking at is a lot of the atmospheric conditions that do lead, unfortunately, to more opportunities for tropical systems, hurricanes, and major hurricanes to develop. And it looks like, as we head through the end of July, we're going to have 1, 2, maybe even 3 or 4, depending on how fast things go, opportunities for things like this to develop. So it's something we'll keep tabs on as we head through the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, though, just a good reminder that it is hurricane season, so if you're along the Gulf of Mexico, we got to keep tabs on these things. It's been reasonably quiet the last couple of days, so it's another good reminder that, hey, we got to kind of keep tabs on what's happening out there, and we can't lose sight of the tropics this time of the year. and it's something we'll watch down here, the First Alert Weather Center, as we head through the next week and toward the end of July. So that's a look at your tropical update for July 16th of 2020. Brought to you by the good folks at Pine Belt Gutters and Remodeling, and yes, they do roofs too.